Get ready for some cool talk. Presented by Brown's Heating, Air, and Plumbing. With your host, Brandon Brown.
Good morning. Good morning. We are bringing in the show today with some updated music off of the Grove Street FM app. Listen, that's prom night. I don't know which prom night. We got 2K hits. We got country. We got Christmas music 24/7. So if you don't have the app, you're missing out.
Missing out
This
big
is
time.
ranked number one in Virginia. It's going nationwide. We have live sports. We have music. We have all the podcasts.
And it's all free.
And it's all free.
You know, you got to pay for Sirius XM.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for
I'm
Grove Street
canceling
FM.
that. This is going on my
That's what I'm saying.
dashboard.
Man,
I mean, we got Retro Rewind, Eagle Fang, 80s Rock. I mean, listen.
that's my favorite channel.
And it just 56 minutes of every hour is music. And you can just pick your station. That's awesome, Woody. You're doing a great job with that.
Thank you, sir.
So we got music. You got a weather.
That's weather on demand too.
Oh, really? Okay,
It is
how's that work?
It is updated every hour.
Okay.
So every hour you go there, like on the top of the hour, you hit play, and so you don't have to worry about missing it. Like it's not between commercial breaks or anything like that. You literally play, and it's the most updated forecast.
Oh, and it's audio.
It's audio.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So this would be the
Good morning. Here's the latest on Grove Street FM with Wednesday's weather forecast. We have a light wind out of the west-southwest right now and mostly clouds with a temp of 49.
I like it.
Cloudy this afternoon and evening with a high near 61.
61. So it's like
Sprinkles and slight fog
May.
tonight
Is it
and
May
a
already?
That's already.
About the same
Okay.
tomorrow.
Well, that's
See? So then you go there and you can just listen
Just click
listen
play.
to the weather on demand every hour. You're like, hey, what's the forecast? Boom.
Wow. And you got
That's
the podcast.
And it's
now,
automatically updated.
now, what are the world news live stream? What-
This is interesting. That is just the world news headlines. There's no opinion, commentary, or anything. It is just the news.
just get the news.
Just the world news. If you were like, what's going on in the world today, real quick, you listen to that live stream and it's from a national provider that just tells you the headlines and they tell you some good news, and there's really no slant to it. It's just the headlines.
and that's updated once a day.
That's
right?
that's
Once a
all
day.
live. That's
All
all live.
live, too.
That's
So breaking
if something
news.
happens, it'll be inserted automatically. You can listen to that just like you would the local news.
And we got a sports section. So if you don't hear Grove Street live
Yep.
on there when they're calling the local basketball high school games, you can go back and listen to the replay. Now that's been really big hit in this area. Locally.
We've had parents come up to us after the games and the coach as well, and they will listen to that the day after on the way and listen to how the kids played. The coach said he'll listen to it and it helps him review film because he'll remember things from the listening to it that he forgot.
That happened.
Oh yeah. So what we try to do is when we broadcast, I'll immediately put it up that night. Later, I record the whole live broadcast, and we just put it in there, and we'll try to pull highlights too. We're gonna start pulling highlights too, so you'll see some
Yeah.
of them pop up.
That's pretty cool. This is an
Yeah.
awesome app, man.
Thank you.
Updates are coming soon. Just waiting on some final. Google's already approved
It might be today, might be tomorrow. And
Apple-
Android, yeah, this is breaking news.
All right.
Android, if you go, you can update your app right now, but I'm not going to tell people that yet. I have to wait for both platforms.
Oh,
So, but
well.
you Android users, y'all are in luck.
we
right
just
now.
got a secret
Got a
hint.
secret.
Go ahead and
update.
do it. Apple will be later, but I'm looking at the app now without the updates, and it's sweet.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you.
there's a TV now. If you have Roku,
Yep.
you can download this app on your TV, play in your background of
Mhm.
work. I've got it on my TV at work.
Yep.
All day it plays. It tells you can see the schedule. It's podcasts. There's music. There's commercials. Right on Roku, you can go through and pick the podcast you want or the headlines. It's definitely a lot, especially if you're in Central Virginia. You need this app. This is going to be. We got there's probably radio stations now begging for Woody to come work for them because he's putting this app together.
I'll tell you, it's hyper local.
I
too.
just can't believe it's free. I mean,
you
come
know,
on now.
I get to looking around and I have a hard time because I like to jump stations. I listen to Sirius XM,
Yeah.
and I like to switch a lot. Like I don't really like to
I do too.
and I'm in various moods during the week.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like, man, what is something we can add to the app to have people want it on their phone instead of have to have it? and then help local podcasts and our live stream. So just add some music, keep it updated. And so far people are responding. So it's great.
Yeah, because I do it too. I mean, I know I have ESPN saved.
Yep.
Like all 3 country stations. I have the 90s on 90, Pop 2K, Dave Matthews Band channel. There was, of course I had all the Christmas stations, but they're gone. They
see, we didn't get rid of ours.
You didn't, so I just got to hit CarPlay, go to Elfit.
That's it.
I'm not cussing when the kids say, "Hey, put on Elfit." I'm like, watch your mouth, but they just really want to hear Christmas music.
I said the reason I named it that was I was like, "Hey, is it wrong to listen to Christmas music in July?" And I was like,
"No,
Elfit, listen to it.
Listen to it. It is never wrong.
Never wrong."
Hey, did you see who found me the other night while I was out eating, trying to come up with get a picture with me?
It was a matter of time.
I was trying to eat a steak.
I knew he was a big fan of yours,
and he come into town, and I'm sitting at the bar or at the table eating, and taps on my shoulder and looking. Hey, Brandon, hey man, I'm a big fan. You want to take a picture? It was Jeff Gordon.
It was the Jeff Gordon. The Jeff
in
Gordon.
Lynchburg, Virginia. And it's so crazy how it worked out. Actually, we were Friday morning, we happened to get a date night. You know, the grandparents won't keep the boys because we had hockey that weekend anyway. We're going to leave. But so I was scrambling to find, like, what could we go? So I had several restaurants, and I looked up on Open Table, and William and Henry had one reservation. I'm like, their steak is awesome. If you haven't had the steak.
I haven't been there yet.
Oh, the steak and the shrimp there. Everywhere else I go, you got to use A1 sauce. Yeah. This is the steak. You do not need A1.
Ooh, no sauce steak.
And they've got like several toppings. So I've got the Cajun, sirloin. I mean, just you could cut it with a butter knife.
Yeah.
It was so good. So if you hadn't been to William and Henry, and it's very affordable for the steak. You get a good meal. But we were sitting there eating. And actually, there was a bunch of people coming in. I seen Jeff Gordon come in by himself. And we were sitting, there was a bunch of people. I was like, "Yo, that's Jeff Gordon." Everybody was looking at me like, "It is not, dude, don't go over there. That is not Jeff Gordon." I said, "I know. I was a fan. I am a fan of Hendricks Motorsports.
Yeah.
I followed him." I said, "That is Jeff."
I heard you were the biggest Jeff Gordon fan from a reliable source in high school.
Oh, really?
They're like, I know for a fact he loved Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
He was always a fan.
Yeah.
He's not on a bandwagon.
See, Laura don't forget nothing.
She'll forget nothing.
No.
She said Jeff Gordon.
I had all the cars. I got a lot of autographs, but I just loved Hendricks. And he walked in and sat down by himself over in the corner, and everybody said, "Nah, that ain't him." I said, "Watch." So I just walked up like, "Jeff, man, what's going on?" And of course he's, "Hey, how you doing?" So we talked for a long time. He was actually in town. His daughter runs track for a high school near Charlotte.
Yeah.
He works for Hendricks now inside. He's not going to broadcast this year, but they were up here for a track meet. So he came up and stayed at the Virginian and went to LU and watched a track meet Saturday.
Fun.
So we got to talking, and he's like, "Yeah, my daughter's in track. My son, he's just a gamer. He just stays at home on YouTube and playing games. He's trying to make it in that." So I said, "Yeah, I know. I got a son doing the same thing when he's not playing hockey." And but it was cool to just interact. And then, and of course, he looked older. But I said, "Y'all, he raced like years ago." I mean,
I know that was 30 years ago, like 20, 30.
Yeah, I think.
God, it makes me feel old.
I didn't even look it up.
I mean, because I know if you were in high school,
Gordon retired. He retired in 2015, and he raced back with Dale Senior like 90s. So in 2015 we retired, but he was really nice.
Yeah.
And you've always heard the celebrity rules. If you see a celebrity during dinner, don't interrupt.
Yeah.
Luckily, he had just sat down and ordered a drink and wasn't eating, but I still felt bad asking him for a picture. So I ended up telling the waiter while we were eating, I said, "Hey, put his tab on mine."
Yeah.
So I bought his dinner. I got to say I bought Jeff Gordon.
Nice.
But after I said that, my wife looked at me. She's like, "Man, but he's drinking wine. Is that the expensive wine? Because he's worth $220 million.
Where'd he get that bottle from?
Is he drinking the $2 glass?" Or I'm like, "Oh gosh, I've already committed now."
And then his entourage comes in.
Yeah,
like, "Oh well, Brandon's getting the tab.
We've already committed now."
That's it,
Tara.
man.
So I don't know what to take.
That's it.
But we got the ticket, and I was like, "Shoo!" It wasn't. It was just. It was good. It wasn't. His bill alone was like $150.
You didn't have to sell a truck or a van or anything.
Oh no! After she's like, "I'm glad you." I wish you'd have said that before because I don't know. Now I'm questioning myself. So the whole time I'm eating, I'm watching like, man,
Nervous. Can't even enjoy your delicious
Yeah.
steak.
is that Boone's Farm? Or
Is that what does he order? Now,
Oh,
listen,
God.
waiter, don't bring him anything expensive.
They blew the dust off the bottle. You knew it was expensive.
Man, it came from the reserves.
Yeah.
The
They had, to get,
catacombs.
they had to get the ladder and they rolled the ladder down. They got up to the top shelf, shook the dust off. And I said, oh, no, I'm going to have to get a loan for this meal. But it wasn't. It was good. He stayed within his means.
Oh, good.
So, but
You didn't have to do a take back.
I think he had the steak and lobster dinner special, which
Yeah.
was good. But no, it was neat. He talked for a while. He was really down to earth, and he was like that before. So, like
Yeah.
a lot of celebrities don't really want to conversate, but he did. He talked for a while and told me, he's not commentating this year. And he's vice president of Hendricks Motors, so he's going to be on the inside helping the race team. So,
Oh, wow.
but yeah, that was a cool encounter.
That's
Then
awesome.
of course after I went up and I told everybody, I was like, told you I was Jeff, and then there was
Yeah.
like when we left, there's like a line of people
Aw.
waiting to talk to him. Like y'all didn't believe me, but I know who people look like if you follow them.
Well, you're a fan of them too.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, wait a
There's
minute.
like he's old. I'm like,
Well, yeah,
50
that's like,
some.
everybody gets older.
Right. He can't look like he did in 15 when he retired.
Now I got to thinking like, because he had as dedicated as a fan base. He also had people that despised him.
Oh,
because you remember the
Oh,
rivalry then.
yeah.
Like, I mean, there were people that like either loved him
Oh yeah.
or hated him,
Oh yeah.
and he caught a lot of flack.
Mhm.
But I mean, also he was really good. So what was the Clorox car?
He was a DuPont.
DuPont. That's it. The red, blue.
Yeah,
okay.
Everybody was against him because he was the main rival to Dale Earnhardt
Yes,
Sr.
yeah.
And that's good though. That was good for sports. You wanted some competitive, competition there, and not everybody could like, the same driver.
Like Washington and Dallas.
Right. Except Washington's horrible now. We won't talk about that.
At least they won that one.
Yeah,
That's-
the one
that's
that didn't
good.
matter. We
The
won.
one that didn't matter. At least
So.
you got that.
We'll see what happens next year. But awesome. Well, welcome everybody to the show.
Jeff Gordon, if you're listening.
Yeah, thanks for coming up while I was eating and asking for
Yeah.
my.
Yeah.
A
Hope you
picture with
enjoyed
me.
that
I'm glad
$300 glass of
he
wine.
got to meet me. And I think he come in looking for us, so he saw my truck or something.
He's probably sitting outside right now.
But he was real nice. That was cool. And I saw some people actually post pictures at LU with him Saturday at the track meet that they saw him there. So that's good that he mingles in, still talks to people, and not try to hide. And
Well, they probably asked him how Brandon's doing. So
yeah, they did. You see Brandon?
did you see Brandon Brown last night?
Yeah, he said, yeah, I listened to his podcast in Bulgaria over there one
The
day.
Emirates.
Yeah, I saw his
When I was in
I
my
saw his
private
billboard
jet.
and over there I was wondering like, who is that?
I downloaded this app. It's called the Grove. Whatever. It's a Grove Street app. It's got some otter thing in it, and
Yeah.
started listening.
Yeah.
And it sounded great. That's another thing. You can pick us up over in the United States
Yeah.
of Emirates.
We're
We're
on Emirates.
worldwide.
Yeah. So in this
We're
app,
not tied to an antenna.
we might all be bought out soon with some big contracts if Woody
Yeah.
keeps going.
Yep,
So
that's the plan.
other news I'm only 2 weeks away. I think I told y'all a couple weeks ago that I'm in training for Conquer. It's a business coaching nationwide. They team us up with some other business owners who are just starting and try to grow grow their business, whether it's grow employees, processes, customer reviews, stuff like that. So I'm fortunate enough to be in this program to help others grow. And I'm noticing a lot of these people we're interviewing already that are going to be coached by us. A lot of them are they're in the same exact position I was years ago when I started. I wish I had a coach in this program at that time, but I see there's a lot of them. And if you're listening, you probably go through the same thing a lot of these business owners are going through. And I found a great analogy a long time ago that I use a lot when I've done some talks and bring up for a comparison when you're a business owner. And I would always ask people, are you a cow or a buffalo? And people would always wonder, what are you talking about? And that's the difference in business owners. And when I first started, once you hear this story, I was a cow, for years. And most business owners, you're stuck. If you're stuck right now and you hear this, you're going to be thinking, man, how do I become a buffalo? And the reason there's a great lesson in this is about success and leadership is studying the way the buffalo and cows respond to storms. When a cow senses a storm coming from the west, they start running east. They aren't very fast. Once a storm catches them, they continue to try to outrun the storm, not realizing they're running with it, maximizing the time they spend inside of a storm. Buffaloes, on the other hand, if you ever read into them and they sense a storm, they charge directly at a storm. As soon as they sense it, they continue to run through it. And by running at it and through it, they minimize the time they spend within it. It's the exact same storm. The difference is the response. Problems that are not solved right away or amplified, and waiting always makes things worse. So if you're starting out a business and you're stuck, you feel like you're in a rut, whether it's money, customers, reviews, hiring the right employees, your atmosphere inside your business, 9 times out of 10, if you hear this, most people approach these issues as a cow would a storm, meaning you may see the problem coming, whether it's an employee that you need to let go and you keep too long, or customers' reviews not coming in like you need, the process that you put in place and checklists aren't getting done. But if you actually approach it like a cow, and most business owners do because you don't know the difference. Most people think if they just go about approaching a problem that's coming in a business the slow way, maybe that problem will just work its way out. Maybe I won't have to address it. I really don't like confrontation, so I'll just let this play out. We'll see what happens. 9 times out of 10, that problem just gets worse and gets worse. And then it affects people around you, the other co-employees, the other supervisors, the customers. And most businesses that don't last is because that most people leave because they don't feel appreciated at work, or they feel like the boss isn't taking care of a problem that keeps arising. And a lot of studies have shown last year that most exit interviews, people left not just to get a better job or better paying job, it was because the work culture they were in was not comfortable. And a lot of people in this situation is people that approached these business opportunities or these issues we see are approaching them in the matter like the cow does a storm. The longer you're in the storm and the problem, the worse it's going to get. So one thing we try to do when we're talking to business owners and people trying to grow to get to the next level, we try to tell them to take the approach like the buffalo does. If you see something coming, if you have an issue that's going on right now that's holding you back to become a successful business, to grow the business, if you have a problem with, culture, and you see it and it's already been an issue for more than several weeks and you've been aware of it, the best thing to do is to attack that problem or that issue face to face immediately. Because if and I've been in this situation before. We've had when I first went into business, I was for several years and I've told the story before when I left and to go in business of their own. I was told, I was 25 years old, 2006, right, getting ready to turn 25. I'm going to be a business owner. I was told, you're not going to make it. You'll be back to work here in 6 months. Business is not that easy. You're not going to make it. And then you go in, that was my mindset actually going in. I was starting a business already thinking I'm not going to make it. Let's just see what happens. Everybody's doubting me that's in the trade. I'm young. I'll just get another job in a few weeks, whatever. And I did that for years, like the first several years of my business, and I didn't grow the way I needed to grow because in my mind, I was not attacking the problem of, I can do it. I can make it. I can be successful. I was letting the voices in my head of others and other businesses and companies, and I was letting that dictate how I advertised, how I ran my business. I wanted to run it, under kind of running my business under the radar. I didn't want people to see and know things I was doing because I was so scared I might get a bad comment or someone saying, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. So for years, I didn't grow because I was holding back because of what I was told when I first started, instead of attacking that and saying, you know what? And I did use that for fuel as I grew to do better. But I didn't do it as early as I should. So That's a lot of stress on a business owner. If you've ever been told, no, you can't do it, or, and it can be in anything. No, you just can't, you're not approved for this loan right now to pay your bills. You're not approved to get the materials you need to keep in business. You're not approved for this job, and people are told no daily. And if you just take that negativity or that no and just give up, you're never going to attack the problem and storm head on and become what you can be. So it took a long time for me as a business owner to finally say, you know what, screw the noise, screw the people that were against you. The best thing I can do is show them that I can do it, and I've done it, and it'll silence that. And that happens in anything you do in life. A lot of people are so scared to become successful in their strengths because of what some other person may think or say. And that's one thing you just have to, the longer you lay that around, the more you're going to start believing that they're right, and you're not going to give 100%, and you're not going to do, what's best for you. So, and with that story, that speaks to every business owner, entrepreneur, whether you do side businesses of online or whatever, always attack your issues, whatever you're doing, especially now we're in the beginning of the year. Make you a budget, make some goals, write the goals down. And they've said before, 9 times out of 10, you will accomplish your goals more if you're written down than just in your head. Make a list each month. Does this goal accomplish? Yes, no, in progress. My next goal, your budgets, what you're trying to reach, have sales goals for your team. If you have sales teams, give them something to reach with some incentive at the end. You reach this sales. Once you reach to this point, you get a bonus. Once you get to this point, you get a bonus, so that they're reaching for the same goals you are, and attack that issue and those problems head on, and that will make you a successful, less stressful business owner as you're going in life. And I wish I knew that, years ago when I did it, but I didn't. And but now that I'm seeing it, I'm just so glad that we can help, take this forward to other business owners. So it's a lot of good stuff in that, and I just hope if anybody's listening that's in that place right now, I know it's a lot going on with inflation and people groceries costing a lot more. You can't get eggs without a loan, and stuff. But that adds stress to small business owners, especially when you're a single business and you rely on everything you do for your groceries, your bills, your kids. There's a lot of stress and depression coming right now on people. Hopefully you just don't give up. Hopefully you can find people to help you grow and get your business, because, right now it is some tough times on people.
Yep.
And people are struggling to make ends meet. So whatever you do, I always tell my employees, when you go to a customer, always think in the back of your mind, this person is related to Brandon somehow. Because you wouldn't believe how many people know who we are and what we stand for. And if it takes one employee to have just a bad day, they're going to contact the owner, and if you're growing. So I always preach to my employees, and I preach to my staff, whenever you're on the phone, whenever you're at a business, make sure you're treating them as they're your parent, your grandparent, because one, you don't ever know who's having a bad day, what they're going through. So the better we treat people, the better results we'll have. And that's an issue you tack up front too, and you make sure you're always giving the customer service, but you also help and support local is our number one goal, in times of good and bad. And then usually the more important time is in the bad, when, we know prices are higher. We know cost of goods is higher, on these small business owners. The more you can support them, shop the local stores and thrift shops and bakeries and things, the better you'll make their lives to help keep the community alive around you. So that's one good thing that, especially with Bedford and all these, 90% of the podcasts that are on GrowStreet.fm, between, Central Virginia Business Coalition, the Chamber, all of them are always trying to help local businesses grow. So we're in a great area, and always take advantage of that. Look into these groups and these people that own small businesses and support them. Help them be able to attack their problems head on this year and grow, but also be successful. That's my kind of my story for the day, my soapbox for the day, if you will. But that's something I'm learning as I'm in training as well, that we're going to try to help other business owners do. So I'd like to help somebody that's listening today do that and be able to be successful. So I mean, that's all I got. What you got, Woody?
That's it, man. That's a good one. That's a good message.
Good message.
Good message.
Download the app.
Download the app.
When's the next live sports? That's this week.
That is Thursday. Tomorrow. Good Lord. It's tomorrow.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock pregame starts at 6:45. It is the Liberty Lady Minutemen versus the Amherst Lancers, girls varsity basketball. Liberty, I think, has only lost one game this season.
Nice. So make sure you tune in, download the app, follow us on all your podcast channels, and we'll see you soon.